Fragmentation of the communications industry has always held it back from achieving its full potential. It happened in the battle between GSM and CDMA technologies, and it drags on in the war of the mobile operating systems like Android, iOS, and Windows. And applications deployment is also made harder if developers are constantly torn between multiple platforms and multiple markets. But one company, Alcatel-Lucent, is working hard to enable more applications by fostering collaboration between content producers, service providers, and applications developers. So let's talk to their applications enablement team. John, thanks for your time.
Jeremy, good to see you.
Discussion in the app market has mainly focused around device vendors and their app stores. So how can the role of service providers be expanded?
Good question. There's a lot that they can do, but I think there's really three things that they can focus on. First of all, make it easier for developers. Make it easier for developers to get started. Don't be an obstacle. Help them get to market as quickly and easily as possible. Secondly, give them business models that are going to work for both of you. Make those win-win business models like Apple did with the App Store, that 70-30 split. Find those that work for both of you. And third, use those unique assets that you have in the network that no one else does, and developers will be attracted to those and come to you.
And what are the trends in the app market at the moment, and what should we expect to see in 2011 and beyond?
The biggest trend here at Mobile World Congress has to be fragmentation. Fragmentation across devices of all shapes and sizes, fragmentation across operating systems, and fragmentation across even app stores. So I think there's a couple things that can be done. One of the things that we're doing at Alcatel is we recently acquired a company called OpenPlug, and they provide a tool for developers that allows developers to write once and then deploy everywhere in native mode across devices, across operating systems. And that can really help them. Secondly, we're part of the WAC, the Wholesale Application Community, who recently just released version 2.0, trying to address those same issues of how do we all work together to make it easier for all of us and make it easier for developers to build, deploy, and succeed with apps in the marketplace this year and going forward.
John, thank you. I appreciate it.
Jeremy, thanks you.
Johnson, good to meet you.
Jeremy, my pleasure.
APIs.
Oh, yes.
They seem to have become a bit of a must-have asset. How critical are they for businesses and for the apps market? And exactly what is the future for APIs in the telco space?
We are transitioning from PC web browsing rapidly to a world of interactive connectivity of all sorts, human to human, human to machine, machine to machine. So you need all form factors to be able to interact, and you need a new way to do so. And Web 2.0 environment is actually that new way. In the Web 2.0 environment, APIs, mark this, APIs will be the new currency for developers, for vertical businesses, as well as for service operators.
When you talk about your application enablement strategy, you've talked about spurring both innovation and new business models.
Yes.
Can you give me some examples of how your strategy has developed these new business models?
Jeremy, you look at today's network, you look at the amount of bandwidth, the amount of intelligence, the sophistication that we build into the likes of LTE network that we're partnering with operators on. It's amazing. It's a new platform and should be treated as such. And if you take a look at this platform, combine it with the speed and innovation of Web 2.0, you're bound to drive new business models, new experiences for consumers. Simple example is one that we're just working with. An operator today across the connected travel ecosystem, right? You're a traveler, you travel quite often. You board, the transportation mode, get to your destination. You need to know where you're going next. You need to know where your luggage is. You need to know what's in the vicinity of your destination, right? Well, We can take you from the time you contemplated travel through to your destination, right? We pull in the operator information along the way. We pull in the travel ecosystem, providing value at every point of the way. These are the new business models that are emerging. It's not just siloed. It's across a broad range of operator, device, enterprise, hospitality, the entire ecosystem. That's exciting for us. It brings the network as a platform for creativity, for innovation, by tapping into the control points within the network, by tapping into the knowledge of the end user, by tapping into the things that the user wants, at the time they want it. That is key.
Justin, good to meet you.
Jeremy, good to see you. Welcome to the booth here at Mobile World Congress.
Thank you. It's really something. Justin, startup players like Twilio have been taking legacy capabilities, including voice and SMS, and turning them into some really exciting apps. What other capabilities do you think service providers could expose?
Here at Alcatel-Lucent, we're working hard to reach out to developers and to better educate them on the types of services that the network operators can provide. Meanwhile, at the same time, we're working with the network operators and we're saying, these are the things that developers want to see. These are the things that developers are asking for. And so what we're doing is we're actually trying to bring them both to the table and do some education and do some translation and get them to talk to each other. A good example of that is presence information. So presence currently is locked up inside the network. What you can do with presence is you would know not only where I am, so the simple location example, but also what am I doing. So you know that my phone is on, or you can know that I'm talking on the phone. So why even call? So you could route that straight to voicemail, or you wouldn't even call in the first place. You could send a message, or you could send a video chat, or something along those lines, right? So we're going to take those capabilities that are in the network. We're going to sit down, we're going to talk to developers, we're going to bring them in, and we're going to say, these are the types of things that we think are interesting. You tell us what's interesting, and then we'll start that conversation. We'll have that dialogue.
What other capabilities would the app developers really like to see exposed?
Sure. So we've actually been asking that question while we're out here on the booth. And for the past year, we've been really talking to developers. And what they're telling us is that they don't know. They don't know what the network has to provide. And so we're coming up with use cases, and we're showing them what the network has. A good example of that is the quality of service APIs. So, of course, we do need to resolve some of the issues around net neutrality in the United States. However, players like KPN outside of the U.S. Are able to do things with quality of service that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do. For example, you could watch a video streaming service downstairs in your home, and you can guarantee lock in your quality of service, lock in your bandwidth during that session while you're watching that movie. And so if your son or your daughter are upstairs and they're trying to play online gaming or whatever it might be, they're not going to eat your bandwidth and cause your video stream to stutter or stop. And so it's a simple thing like that does take a lot of intricate knowledge of the networks, a lot of complexity involved. But if we can expose that to developers who are building those next generation applications, then what we really see is we see a good combination of the network providers and the application providers working together.
Excellent. Justin, thank you very much for your time.
Great. Thank you.